Hi, everybody. It's Lisa Warner, the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing. So thanks for joining me today. Today, I wanted to talk to you about your identity. When we get a scary diagnosis, say cancer, and that doctor says, you have cancer, that diagnosis goes right into our core. It goes right into our cells, and it becomes part of us. The doctor hands us that diagnosis right inside our energy field. And as soon as we are given that gift of that diagnosis in our energy field, it becomes part of our energy field. It becomes part of who we are. It becomes part of our reality. Hey, Susan, thanks for joining. So as soon as cancer or any other disease becomes part of our reality, it becomes part of our identity, because everything that's in our reality is things that we identify ourselves with or as. We identify ourselves with our home, with our car, with our spouse, with our family, with our jobs, with our religions, with our political bent. We identify ourselves with the elements in our lives. And when we start to identify ourselves as having cancer, that becomes part of our identity. It becomes part of who we say we are. And you know what? This reality reflects who we say we are. And as long as we are saying that I have cancer, we are identifying with that cancer. And as long as we're identifying with that cancer, we're owning that cancer. And when we own cancer, cancer owns us. And if we're owning it, we can't have cancer and not have it at the same time. Cancer and radiant health are two opposite experiences. They're two totally different experiences, two totally viable experiences that we have to choose from. And I say choose on purpose, because we do choose our realities. We choose our experiences. Hey, Mary. So if we say that we have cancer, and that's the reality that we're looking at. If we'd rather be radiantly healthy, then we have to stop identifying ourselves with the cancer. We have to stop owning that experience. And we have to realize that we've made that experience part of our own identity. We have owned that as part of who we are. So when we're saying, I have cancer, that is the identity that we're choosing. And if we would rather have an identity that says, I am radiantly healthy, without any worries and cares, that's a totally different identity than the one that says, I have cancer. So when we go to the doctor is only looking at our body. We are body, mind, and soul. And the doctor is looking at just the physical body. The doctors aren't looking at the emotions and thoughts and feelings that went into the creation of the cancer to begin with. And they're definitely not looking at your soul. So they're only addressing the physical aspect. They're not addressing the whole being. But self-healing is not just about healing the body. It's about healing the self. It's about bringing all the parts of ourselves back into alignment. Because here in this physical reality, we get banged around and bumped into and knocked around by life. And when we get knocked around by life, we get knocked out of alignment, just like a car. You know, when you go over a bunch of different potholes, those wheels eventually get knocked out of alignment and you're driving down the road pretty wobbly. Well, how many of us are walking around life wobbly? Cancer, that's a pretty big wobble. Okay, and it's a sign that we have gotten knocked out of alignment, that body, mind, and soul are no longer in alignment. So in the course of healing yourself, I invite you to look at your identity. Who do you say you are? And who do you wish to be? If who you say you are is someone with cancer or with a problem or in some sort of a predicament, that's who you've identified yourself as. If you would rather identify yourself as someone who is radiantly healthy and happy and excited about life, you've got to create that identity. You've got to create a new identity for yourself. This is all part of self-healing. And for anybody that's hopped on, if anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free to pop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, even if it's not related to this. If it's a self-healing question, go for it. So anyway, self-healing is about body, mind, and soul, bringing all three parts and pieces back into alignment. So remember that your identity says it all about you. You get to choose your identity. You get to choose who you are. You get to choose who you be. So if you would like to be radiantly healthy, then you've got to choose that as your identity. And you've got to wear that identity. So if you've been wearing cancer as your identity, I invite you to take a look at that. And if you would like to flip that around, and hey, Denise, if you would like to flip that around and create a brand new identity for yourself so that you can bring your body back into alignment, because your body is following you, your body is reflecting who you say you are. It's reflecting who you are being. So if you would like to be the radiantly healthy you, instead of the you with cancer, and you need some assistance with that, please reach out to me. I have already walked this path. I've already seen all of these steps that it takes to flip your identity from having a disease to being radiantly healthy. So self-healing, there are many, many parts and pieces to self-healing. It's not just about healing the body, and it's not just about thinking better thoughts or believing that we can be healthy. There are some very simple steps. We've got to be able to see how we've created the disease. Once we see how it's been created, then we can simply uncreate it. We can reverse engineer it. And it's really actually quite simple. That's why it's called the simplicity of self-healing. So, and you know what? It's actually really fun. Once you figure out how to do this, then you can start to create and uncreate at will. So if you're ready to be radiantly healthy and you need a little assistance, please reach out. That's why I'm here. So thank you all for joining me today. And until next time, create for yourselves a great day. All right. Bye-bye.